speaking of people who are bad at their jobs, let's go ahead and put this up there on the screen. There's a big shakeup going on over at CNN. We're covering this. So Don Lemon has officially been taken off of his nightly primetime show with his own name on it and is being transferred to the morning. Now, I don't know how else you would describe somebody who has a show with their name on it at the most coveted time slot in television, and then moving them to a panel show with multiple co-hosts from 6 to 9 a.m., which in TV terms means that you actually have to wake up at 3:30 in the morning in order to go do your job, and not describe that as demoted. However, Mr. Lemon is very, very sensitive about this. Let's put this up there. He says explicitly, I was not demoted. He's like, no. For those who are saying, oh, he moved me out, I could have said, no, I was not demoted, none of that. This is an opportunity to create something around me, and I get to work with two great ladies who, and he basically just ends the quote right there.
Turning lemons into lemonade. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Turning lemons into, there's a lot, there's so many puns that we can make here.
Could not resist.
I don't know, maybe he's got tears in his eyes because I'm not gonna keep going. All right, so, but Krystal, I don't think there is a way to describe this as obviously a demotion. Clearly also it just shows you, once again, for all I do support Chris Licht, like firing Brian Stelter and all this, but they fundamentally lack imagination. They describe this as a, quote, mass appeal play. Yes,
what?
Let's take the lowest rated and frankly dumbest man on television and put him in the morning. That'll appeal to the masses, and then we'll put a blonde woman right next to him because that'll soften him up. Like, what? What are you thinking here?
Funny to me is they are describing this. The thing that was strange to me is like they're describing this as big game changer.
Yeah, is it, what?
Like,
no, it's not.
It's the same type of people. Like all of these CNN characters are very plug and play. Like they're all very similar. And so, I took this blonde woman and man combo and I switched it for a different blonde woman and man combo and threw in Caitlin Collins.
Totally.
It's like, that's not a game changer. That's just like a regurgitation of a very similar thing that you've been doing. I mean, look, we'll see what it looks like when it actually comes to the light of day, but I was surprised at the lack of ambition that this represented, I guess is what I would say, because Chris Licht comes from, morning TV is kind of his thing.
He created Morning Joe.
He helped create Morning Joe. What did he also, CBS, I think, their morning show.
Yeah, they're the lowest rated one, so,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And that was actually, I think the last element that we have here for Puck News.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so this was, when life gives you lemon, LOL. This was an interesting analysis by Dylan Byers. I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I thought it was an interesting way to look at it. He said, listen, the audience that watches cable news is growing older and it's growing smaller. Zucker, who's now, of course, ousted, may have felt confident he could have fought that trend, but Licht's strategy is to embrace it. So basically what he's arguing here, Dylan Byers, is that he's not, even though they say this is a mass appeal play, he's really not going for the mass appeal play. He is trying to appeal to this, the normies that are still watching cable news, like the older retirees who are still watching cable news, is trying to pare back expenses and make it less costly and basically, make it financially viable in a future where ratings are not coming back. So I thought that was an interesting insight into potentially what he is ultimately thinking here.
That's smart. That could be a smart way to look at it. I mean, I think that the other one is that Lemon was a huge pain in the ass. He needed to kind of, quote, get rid of him, put him in a less high-profile role. He also seems to have a real thing against Breonna Keeler, which they talk a lot about in that piece, who we played earlier, the woman thing. I don't blame him. I also find her very unpleasant to watch, so I guess I also would want to get rid of her in the morning. Right, but it's not like Poppy Harlow is...
From Poppy Harlow?
Exactly.
I don't know.
That's why I'm
the
like,
same to me.
I don't know where this is all coming from. I mean, look, Caitlin is actually quite good at her job. She's going to be like a roving correspondent type. I think she'll be fine at that. I mean, that's good. Moving on from the White House. So, she'll probably just be traveling a lot, like the hurricane person. I'm here on whatever. That's a fine gig. But at the end of the day, like what they point to is, and he actually says this, he's like, well, Chris Licht is going for the competition of muted screens in airports and here on K Street. I couldn't find a better way to describe it, which is that even morning show television, CNN, what they say is there's only way up because at best only 400,000 people are watching it in the morning, and about less than 100,000 of them are in the key demographic, which is all that matters. I mean, that's like, a tenth or whatever of whatever happens here on breaking points.
About how much they spend.
Right, I mean, millions of dollars,
in promotion, in the set, in the quote-unquote talent. I mean, the whole thing, all in, it's just mind-boggling how much money they spend to achieve such incredibly poor results. It really is incredible. There's another article out about the fact that the Sunday shows are dying.
Yes.
Too. They can't book
Honestly,
like high-level guests. Nobody's watching. It's not, I mean, the Sunday shows used to be like, this set the agenda and this is where the news was made and all of this, but it's just a totally different world. And you know, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where it's like, okay, they can't get the big guests and they can't break the big news, and so there's even less reason for people to try to tune in and watch, and it becomes a downward spiral. You see this playing out really across all of network news and cable news, frankly, where there's so many other options. It's so boring and predictable. They've gotten so many key moments so incredibly wrong. But yeah, if that's the strategy, is just to kind of like pare back expenses and make it cheaper and try to hold on to the relatively small audiences that they have, I guess it's not the dumbest play in the world.
Completely. My favorite term with regards to the Sunday shows, I think you taught me this, is the full Ginsburg.
Yeah, right.
Where named after the lawyer for Monica Lewinsky, who went on all 6 Sunday shows back when people cared about such things. Yeah, I mean, I can't even tell you it was on Fox News Sunday. Even 5 years ago, that used to be kind of a big deal. Now I mean, it's nothing.
By the way, the person there that's being floated for Don Lemon's replacement in the evening.
Who is it?
Casey Hunt.
Oh my God. Oh, God. That'll be a fun one to celebrate.
Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.